Okay then. I believe that is us live. I hope. I think. Yeah, there we are. Excellent connection. Okay. Now for the second screen. And we will be good to go. Give everyone a little bit of time to filter in. Again, I thought I would be at least half an hour late today, but that didn't prove to be the case. Everything went quite smoothly, and we're able to only be the 10 minutes late. Hello, Isaac. But yes, we will be continuing the Erebor campaign, which has gone fairly smoothly up till this point, I don't mind saying. Hello Nicholas, and Evac, and Vidania. I'm doing quite well. I hope you're doing well as well. But yeah, I think this is the best opportunity anyone will have, I think, at getting the One Ring, because oftentimes the script makes it spawn in a place that's not terribly feasible for you to go after. But it is in Mistrand. It's not without risks though, even though it is pretty much in the place that is best for us to go after in many ways. Well, I guess Khan Doom would be even easier, but there are certain pitfalls that we could fall into. Hey there, Brodor. But yes, we shall load into the game now, I think. Oh, hold on a second before I do that. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Just had to check the audio there. Right then. The main issue is that Rune are actually quite strong at the moment, and while rushing down their capital, will you get Zag, Kala and Khazad-dûm West? I mean, I don't really... If I get Khazad-dûm, I'll do it because Khazad-dûm themselves failed to do so. I'd rather give them the opportunity to get it. I'm not in any great rush to go all the way down there as well. I think I've helped the High Elves and Khazad-dûm sufficiently against Moria's hordes by taking away Goblin Town. So that should be enough for them to handle that, to be honest with you, because we have bigger fish to fry than the goblins of Moria. If anything, the only thing I'll do to help the western side of the Misty Mountains even more than I already have is I might go for Khan Doom. But I think Ered Luin would be able to do that anyway, so even that... We probably will, to be fair, because Ered Luin do take their time against Angmar, even if the result is somewhat inevitable because of the quality discrepancy. But yes, we have spears, and I think those are King's axes. We have... Yes, that's one other thing I was going to do. Where are they? Yes, the Dragon Slayers. So I think we're going to not send the Dragon Slayers to the west, we're going to send them to the east, because I think... Poetically speaking, it makes sense for the Dragon Slayers to be facing off against Rune, would you not think? So they're going to be going this way now. These boys, however, the King's Shields, they can keep going over this way, because we do need more units over here in some capacity. But yeah, Faluk Ozadul is going to be our best recruitment province. Also, one thing I'm going to do, because Gimli technically died and then was reborn because the game crashed last time, what we're going to do is we're going to say that until turn like 100, 105, Gimli cannot leave Mount Graham. He's been maimed and wounded in capturing Mount Graham, and he must now stay there. So we can't... This will sort of put a little bit of a delay potentially on us rushing down Khan Doom, which is something. We could always get this gentleman to do it here, Ferrari, who is... He looks like a devastated individual, doesn't he? But yes... I finished a Gondor playthrough and started one as Khand, and it is an incredibly stark difference. You might get a special unit from Khan Doom. I don't know if I do. If I do get a special unit from Khan Doom, it would be the Sons of the Fallen, which we already can build in several places. Well, yeah, taking the Blue Wizard's deal as Khand is meant to be a challenge. Right, anyway, we've already built a bunch of stuff, I think. Erebor is building. Oh, Nazanar is building. Witherboard is building. Right, Dane's Halls, we've got the Dragon Slayers on the way. We're already building some more King's Axes. We have some spears. which, to be fair, we are going to start sending eastward as well, because, of course, eventually, if we do get the ring, it's going to be a long march around the Mountains of Shadow to go into Mount Doom, and we're going to need a strong stack or pair of stacks in order to be able to accomplish that. Dragon Slayers then, evac. We can already build Dragon Slayers from Dane's Halls as well. I mean, to be fair, Dragon Slayers are very good, but it's weird that you can train Dragon Slayers from Khan Doom, because the dwarves don't really have any sort of ancestral heritage in Khan Doom, can they? But I don't know if there are any unique dwarven units from Ered Luin, but we of course won't be having to deal with that, because Ered Luin took the good path, and there's no way that Ered Luin ever fall if they take the good path. Because there's no way that Angmar generally can take on all comers. They need Ered Luin to take the deal, and then they tend to be a little bit more dominant, but it all hinges on the dwarves. Okay, so yeah, we are pretty much good to go. So first thing is first, we have Dane over here, who actually has a battle to enact immediately against Kabisa over here, who doesn't look like he's got a huge amount of great units. So we should be able to take him down. But then again, this army's not exactly amazing. We've got a couple of King's units, a Ballista. The Blacklock Engineers are probably the best individual unit we have. But it's a fairly basic stack of units, this, because this was like the first army we sent over here. Further back, we will start to get into more impressive units as the Iron Guard and such begin to arrive. Speaking of which, we should be able to start building Iron Guard here fairly soon. Iron Fist Hammers are also on the way. Very, very nice. Okay. Hammers of Gundabad. Now, Hammers of Gundabad are the only place you can build the Hammers of Gundabad is in Mount Gundabad itself. Hey there, Miran76. So, let's stop beating around the bush, shall we? Let's take this fight right now. So, let's have a little look. They've got reinforcements from the settlement. Candish Hunters are half decent, but like no better really than my Stiff-Beard Archers. The Daratai units are actually not very good at all. They're swarm units more than anything else. This guy, however, so he's going to have Locrian Bodyguard. He's got some Faroon Mercs as well, who I believe are AP. No, they're not. They're skilled against mounts, which is completely useless against us, so that's nice. They do have some Horse Archers, but that's not a problem at all. We have 2 Ballistae, so yeah, this should be okay, to be honest with you. They don't have any of their post-barracks event units in these stacks, so we should be okay. Especially with Dane leading the way, but I have placed my trust in generals already. Hey there, Calvin, and Son of Fantasy. Yes, Baruch Khazad indeed. The dragons of old may be dead, so this is as close as the dwarves can get to slaying dragons in the modern day. Let's see what Rune are all about then. I'm glad that Rune actually didn't get crushed underfoot like it looked like they were going to early on in the campaign, because it means we actually get to face them. Hey there, Kamul, Lord of the Easterlings, who we shall be trying to crush promptly. At any rate, interesting little map this. Looks like we have some good terrain we can use. So yeah, we actually have the terrain advantage. I would imagine, seeing as we're attacking them, their reinforcements I think are going to come from over here actually, which is kind of, it's an interesting point. But we will form up over here. As the dwarves, we aren't really in a position to be able to take advantage of moving across a map quickly. We have to take things slowly, even if it would be beneficial to us to try and do something else. They can go there like so. The Blacklocks will have as their own thing. So there are cavalry units on the field, but they're all horse archers. So our spears... Actually, that's a good point. Do the Stiff-Beard... not Stiff-Beard, the Stonefoot spears, do they have an upgrade model? Or are they very much the same as they are? No, I guess not. They have just the same one, because that's a silver shield that they have as well. Do you have any upgraded King's units? Not in this stack, no. We will be getting them though, because we're building some of the best blacksmiths that we have. or among the best blacksmiths that we have anyway, so they can go on the side like so. And then yeah, we've got some good infantry in this army. I mean, it's a fully healthy army. We haven't taken any casualties of any sort at this stage, so that is going to be important as we move forward. We do need to be efficient with our engagements. Just the one unit of axe throwers. I guess with our AP projectiles we'll keep you back here and off fire at will for the time being. The Blacklocks can sit on this little hillock. Dane himself can get ready to move with them. The King's units, and I think that just leaves the Mattocks. Yes, it does. Okay, let's see what happens with them. Oh, they're actually right there. Okay. Well, how far away are they in... that's a fair distance, to be honest. I mean, we can try and shoot them down a bit. Okay. They're actually going over there as well. Interesting. When are the real armies coming? Momentarily, actually, Master Blaster, because we're already able to build the King's units, and we can also start building some Iron Guard as well, which that will be the best unit that we can make the bulk of our armies out of, because we can build them pretty much anywhere. We can build up enough culture and a barracks, whereas any of our like really unique stuff, like Sons of the Fallen, to be fair, we can actually build them in a fair few places. Other than the Iron Guard, they're probably the most ubiquitous unit we're going to have. But Dragon Slayers, Hammers of Gundabad, they're going to be a little bit more... Right, so they're going to come this way. That's interesting. So they're going to try and cut right across. What do they actually have over here? Not an awful lot, right? Yeah, we can charge into them, actually, without too many issues. So we'll get them into place. Hey there, Leon. You've had that name for ages, Matt. Well, maybe not on YouTube, but I knew it was you. Right then, let's just charge right into them. Do some damage. They can go there like so. And we can also move down the hill slightly with you. Right, let's see how much damage we can do off this charge. I don't think they were expecting this, actually. Are they going to get up to charge speed? Yes is the answer, and these are only basic Daratai units, so that should be a ton of damage that we inflict there. We do need to leave the premises. Right, and now we'll crush this reinforcement army first. Make sure we got our spears into position as well. Let's see if we can, because we're right on the red line here, which is a little bit awkward. See if we can't get around these Daratai hunters. They're charging after me with their archers, actually, which is a strange choice. Not going to complain too much, though. Oof, that was close. They are going to nick me, I think. No, they're not. We are actually going to be able to get in and around them, which is gratifying. This is good damage as well. They may be shielded, but their armour is extremely poor. Right then, I do want to... It's risky, but I'm going to turn the sound effects up a little bit. And the spears, we will get them into position right now. Might be another unit we can use as well. Yeah, we'll get the Iron Hills Mattocks down here. I don't know if we'll actually be able to get them into position quickly enough for them to actually be of use, but we shall see. Any info on when the next Reforged replay will take place? Yep, Saturday. It will be a siege. Yes, it will be a siege of Rudauer attacking Cardolan. Right, shoot them. I'm a little bit surprised at this point that this is how they're choosing to engage us, but I can't complain too much. Charge in there. Dale Cavalry have actually probably been the most useful unit pound for pound in terms of a single unit. Oh boy. Yeah, this is not what I want because we're more likely to get friendly fire and we're going to win that engagement anyway. So you go there. Probably enough to rout them actually, isn't it? Get after the Daratai Hunters. You actually may as well come back over here at this point, because your services are not going to be required. That's them broken. Daratai Clansmen are not going to last too much longer. The upgraded armour on our spears is making it very difficult for these basic runic clansmen to do anything to us. How's your lab stuff going? I think the vast majority of my lab stuff actually got completed this week, which is good. Wasn't actually expecting it to be that fast, but certainly can't complain when it is. The Candish Hunters, you get over there, you keep hunting them down, reposition ourselves. Right, what have we got going on here? We may as well actually move you boys over here because we should be able to start shooting down into that valley now. Right, get after them. Right, this might be enough to break them. I think the Candish Hunters are made of slightly sterner stuff, to be fair. Although with the spears on the approach as well. I don't think that was enough to break them, actually. Remarkable. We've done enough damage to them as a whole, though, that I think that they are starting to move forth. Faroon Mercs. Right, we should actually pivot our position a little bit as well. So these Stonefoots can move here. And the Erebor infantry can get ready to defend from here. Move our position around a little bit. Yeah, this is the issue that you do run into as the dwarves. You can't catch anyone even when they're starting to run away. You have to sort of juke the AI a little bit. Gonna have a break before more formal employment next year? More or less. I mean, well, to be fair, I've still got to do all the write-up and stuff, but I won't be sort of scrambling to do my lab work any more lab work anyway in January, which is one of the problems that could have arose, but not the case. Yeah, we'll just charge them into oblivion, I think. Should be fine. Yes, just the Faroon Mercs are actually, well, I say that. Go after the units in behind, because you're more likely to actually hit something in the front if you do that. Cell swords as well would be quite nice. So yeah, just go after them. Coax them into coming forwards. Whereas Frodo Baggins? Hastenation. Frodo Baggins is presumably far, far away from the eastern realms of Middle-earth. This should... You'd think that would be enough to start to light a fire under them. At least a little bit. Actually, we will move you down here because we might have the opportunity to... Do we stay in melee here? Yeah, I think we probably do, don't we? No, actually, they're decent in melee, aren't they? We're not dealing with heavily armoured cataphracts here. I heard Rovanium will be added to Reforge. Is that true? Apparently so. We need to be a little bit careful with that friendly fire. I didn't realise they had enough space for 3 more factions, but not going to complain about new stuff. And what else do we have? Ah yes, the Blacklocks. No, that's not what we wanted. We wanted you there. Blacklocks were here. I haven't actually had a look at the Blacklocks yet. Should probably go ahead and do that. You can go there because we're going to probably flank around. Yeah, I like the fact that they have the Arakani have definitely got their own style. Definitely looks a little bit more Eastern, which is cool. Right, and I think, yes, this is just the captain from the settlement. And there he goes. As much Dale cavalry as we can muster. So useful. Are they actually falling back? I'm a little bit surprised about that, if I'm honest. I thought they would be more inclined to come forwards as we kill off more and more of them. That's usually how the AI rolls. You can sort of panic them into action. What is the hardest name to spell in this game? Probably one of the Mirkwood ones. Someone must have knocked on the door, but well, I've been around for most of the day doing bits and pieces, so they're going to have to bloody well wait. God, our dog's such a pain in the ass. Just doesn't know when to shut the hell up. Anyway. Moving hastily onwards. Well, there's nothing hasty about the dwarves, I suppose. Yeah, well, the postman had all day to come and do his stuff earlier. He can leave it by the side gate. Someone may also have come back, I'm not sure. Could be either or. At least that seems to be subsiding. Meanwhile, this is a little bit more of a problem actually, because the timer does come into play a little bit more as the dwarves, because you take so long to cover ground. Right then, what are we going to do? Right, we'll put them there. Them there. Axe throwers can go here like so. And then the 2 stone-foot spears can go there. They can go there. You can go here. And then I guess it's just a case of waiting. What are they doing? I told you to move. Are you stuck? Is this unit stuck on impassable terrain? Right, yeah, that's good. Less of that, yeah? Oh, Jesus. Get out of there. Lost a lot of cavalrymen there. I really hate it when the AI does this. It achieves absolutely nothing. There's got to be a way to make it so the AI doesn't just constantly do this time after time. I guess it's just a problem that's exacerbated as the dwarves because of how horrendously slow you are. Right then. It's also annoying because there's really nothing to say when the battle has taken this path. There's nothing that I can add, really, other than look how slow the dwarves are. But hopefully with a bit of bombardment, hopefully with a bit more damage, they will be convinced it's in their best interest to move forwards. I mean, they're going to... I can understand why they're playing this way, because they will lose in melee, but they're going to lose regardless. Ah yes, the Blacklocks. I had forgotten. Coming in with them, eh? And fire at them. Get the spears in. This is something we really can't... what will they replace body piercing with? No idea, Arthur, but hopefully not something that's as completely overpowered, because the meta around Reforged completely revolved around body piercing in Sieges because of its addition, at least in the quantities that it was added. How are we taking that much damage? Come on now, you're supposed to be dwarves. Yeah, there's no such thing really as a clean dwarven kill death ratio, I suppose. Black locks can go there. Far Rune mercenaries, there's no real need to fire at them. Okay, Mattocks. Go up round there. Dane, move forwards. Cantabrian circles forming. But yeah, we'll have to just flex our muscles a little bit in melee. Jesus, that was very, very close. Don't be doing that. There's the Locrian Bodyguard. Sell swords. King's shields and King's axes can go up and around there. If we can get that Locrian Bodyguard in range of our black locks, that should be enough to evaporate their general. Interesting move to move their Balchoths into melee. Yeah, they're moving away because they know that our black locks are in range, so let's just open up with them as well. We're about to run dry on ammo supply in quite a few places. Almost all of our units are still fairly fresh, so we don't need to use our little ability yet. You go there. You can go over there. King's shields into the side. Ah, the Rim Bodyguard. We don't want to get our cavalry anywhere near that business. That would be pretty ugly. Okay, let's go down to... Horse archers are so annoying to fight. You're able to get... Oxavian guards? I've never heard of them. Are they the Arid Luin, sort of unit? If that's the case, then yeah, we will. I mean, I think we'll be able to get Khan Doom regardless. So I'm not too worried. Some more Erebor infantry. These Mattocks are a little bit in behind enemy lines for my liking. They'll probably take a little bit of damage. But nothing to be worried about too much. Shoot at those Far Rune mercs. Shoot at them. Dane, fire in there. Throwing axes. King's axes, just charge in there. Yeah. Really going after my axe throwers. Yeah, I really doesn't like them. I don't think so, Calvin. Not as many people play that map anymore, I think, because it's very difficult to organise, and they always, the replays often take, an hour and 40 minutes-ish. So imagine how long it takes to play. A lot of people just don't have that kind of time at the moment. I guess just get into those Daratai hunters. Yeah, this is going to be a fairly dominant performance. King's axes took a little bit of damage from that charge from the horse archers, but not too much, and they're going to butcher them in melee. Right, that's enough of that. Just cease firing. Up and around the flank. Are they in range yet? Not quite. They stabilised. That's a bit annoying. Okay, at this point I think it's time for us to... Those are stone foots, which we will pull on through.
Only half the enemy force remains.
There they are, good. Finally we can actually start focusing down their bodyguard. They actually charged into really the wrong kind of unit. King's shields, stone foots. After them. In behind enemy lines. Chase after them. And they're running. Actually, yeah, just get into melee. They'll break when the spearmen arrive. Lobby is now a plus, and the game is another hour and a half. Try 3 hours, Calvin. Possibly more. Hour and a half is very optimistic for a Minas Tirith game. Not much. This is the first battle of the stream. Would you consider playing Call of Warhammer? Possibly. It is perhaps a little bit more in the wheelhouse than a lot of other stuff, right? These stone foots are... Right, they're going to try and run as well, aren't they? Yeah, there they go. Now they rout. Actually, you know what? No. Chase them down. King's spears move forwards. Can the Blacklocks get into range of the bodyguard? Charge forwards. Erebor infantry. Yeah, sure, just chase them down to the best of your abilities. Right, don't go too far ahead of yourself there, Dane. Okay. And Erebor axe throwers. What are they fighting? A whole lot of nothing by the looks of things. This is where Dane dies to the bloody Locrian. That would be just typical. Chase them down, would you? They're still chasing down fleeing units, which is good. Still some Daratai warriors in there. Give them their credit. They haven't done too badly at all. We need to surround these boys. Dane's taking losses that I don't want him to. So we need to hurry up and just completely surround them. Make sure that we can't be shot as well. King's axes, who took a bit of damage in and amongst the mix of all of that cavalry. Right, this should be the end of them. They're halberds, so to have their formation buckled like this. Where is Dane himself? There's their general. Dane is somewhere. His unit is fairly stretched actually, so he could be anywhere really. He's not on the front line though, I don't believe, which is nice. There we go. We did actually catch up to them in the end. That's nice. The Golden Boys. They're going to do really well actually against stuff like Stonefoots, but I just want to make sure that we have them surrounded on all sides, doing as much damage as possible. Yeah, that'll be the end of them. I don't know if I quite like the standard armour model for the King's unit, so that hexagonal armour really does it for me. So I'm not sure I want them to be upgraded, to be honest. Obviously it's still worthwhile, but God, these archers though. Yeah, just keep chasing them. They'll break like all the rest. Victory. Not too many losses. We'll heal up a few. Most of the losses we suffered did come in our more regular units. But this is the kind of engagement we just need to take. We will have reinforcements on the way forward as well. Elite units. Well, they're going to break and they're going to go right off the field immediately. I think this is it, isn't it? Just got to wait for our cavalry to get over there so we can actually catch up to the annoying blighters. There we go. Yeah, go after them. Kill off as many of them as you're able, which isn't going to be too many because they're right near the red line as it stands. See if we can go after them as well. Are the black blocks in DAC the same as the one in Reforged? No, they're not. We can actually probably have a little look at them right now. I think I prefer the divide and conquer model for them, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of the horned helmet aesthetic that the black blocks have. Whereas in DAC, I quite like the Arakani look. And I prefer this for them. They've got the same crossbow and shield, but other than that they have a more Eastern aesthetic, which makes sense considering that they are the Arakani in DAC, or an Arakani unit. Anyway. Success. 500 losses, maybe a little bit more than I would like, but, you know, such is the way of things. We're just going to need to get our catapults on the go, I think. We might, I mean, having a look at that loading screen there, we might fight Isengard at some stage. You never know. They're going to be victorious against Rohan if Edoras is sieged and Theoden's died. Yes, we'll be executing them. Enemy camp sacked, and this means that we can just walk right on into Skarn. We will... Only 192 will occupy the settlement then, just free of charge. They can't have had this settlement under their control for that long. I say that, well, fairly even split there. Anyway, we can actually construct an Arakani clan hall here, which is actually useful. It means we'll be able to get some Arakani units on the field from here. And we also want to be moving forward with a good portion of the units from here. I think we'll probably keep the mercenary unit. The 3 mercenary units here. The rest, however, we will move forwards. So this bunch we will combine with Lord Thorin and we'll get him moving forward. So that means we've got a decent amount of units heading down this way. The target, of course, is we don't have the little circle, which is a little bit strange. But we will be going after them. And I don't think there's anything else that we can do this turn. Proven Commander, I would have thought you would already have that, but no matter. Got another general on the way as well, which we will probably send eastwards also. Because I don't think we really need any more generals over here. If we're only going to take one more settlement in Kharn Dûm, we've already got enough generals to really be looking after all of our pieces here. Ah yes, Goblin Town. I had almost forgotten. This is going to be a good money maker for us actually, because it's a huge city and there's a lot of stuff that we can still build to improve it. But what we want right now is probably public order bonus due to law. That would be quite nice, but let's go for a pub. Increases happiness and increases our culture, which we will need if that is to become a useful settlement for us. Okay then, let's pass the turn. Skarn is one of those territories that Erebor do start out with in the auto-expansion, so it's probably past time that we actually picked it up. The only problem with these eastern provinces is they're so large, difficult to traverse, because they're not all that well developed until you start getting into Rune's Heartland. Man, that really is just a complete stalemate there, isn't it? Maybe we will start formulating an attack on Kharn Dûm, although that may be enough to get Angmar's Doomstack to spawn. Hey there, Llama Boy. Again, I'm never really clear on when the Doom stacks spawn for each faction, because it seems to be random when you either when you take their capital or when they're down to a certain amount of territories. And I know whereabouts the Angmar Doom stack spawns as well. End of turn report. Production, we are dominating. Construction complete in Berzakul. A lot of recruitment. Oh yes, that's a good point, isn't it? This place is probably on military build policy. Indeed it is. We don't want that. Right then. So we built a building here, which was the second highest armourer we have, that being the highest. This is probably not a bad idea. Although it would be quite nice to just go for the full Monty of Dwarven armour. Have you established relations with the Dunedain and the Elves? Yep. We're not allies, but we're trading. But they're not going to attack me anyway. So we're fine. It's 8 turns on that. Oh no, 6 turns, that's not too bad. But, yeah, we'll go with that. Because we can't actually recruit much of anything yet anyway. Latash. Right, there you are. Ah yes, the Iron Guard and the Sons of the Fallen we already had. This bunch of King's units. King's Axes and King's Spears, don't mind if I do. And elsewhere. 1 turn until we get another unit of Hammers of Gundabad. I think on that note, we'll probably be able to put most of our strong units, not with Gimli, because of course we're handicapping him because of the events of the last stream, but this guy here, this very strange looking dwarf, Ferrari, we can send him over towards Khan Doom to try and take that as well. Right, we will construct a watchtower there. Give us a bit of visibility. You can move forwards. Right then. So we need to pack this guy's army with as much talent as we are able to. So 2 units of Blacklocks. We need both Ballista so he can attack Mistrand immediately. I'm a little bit concerned actually that the red ring is not appearing around Mistrand now. Hopefully the One Ring script hasn't been balked and it hasn't just disappeared and been lost to the ether. That would be a little bit underwhelming. Hey there, Hrothgar. Right, this bunch can join him as well. I think aside from that, probably give him a couple more units of the Mattocks, maybe. I think he needs archers too. So we'll give him a couple of units of Stiffbeard archers. Makes sense for this to be an Arakani focused army considering we are now in the east. So maybe we will give him a few more units of these spear boys. Yeah, and then we'll get a couple more units from here, which I guess can be axe throwers? Or maybe Mattocks, we'll wait and see. Elsewhere, everything else is pretty much as it needs to be. We'll have another general soon. We'll be able to build another unit of Blacklocks. Everything is looking good. Okay then. So what else do we want to do? I think we had spies, didn't we? Spies that are doing something? Yes, this guy. Let's go and see what's happening up here. Well, there is Isengard armies heading into Western Gondor, which is not ideal. And then there's this dude. Dorwinian have seized the upper hand now, perhaps because we're attacking Rune as well. After loading save, it just does not appear, it's still there. Ah, good. Glad to hear it. Well, with Dorwinian putting that sort of pressure on, we should be able to rush them down, to be honest. So, can we hire mercenaries actually? No. Oh well. Ringbearer Door. We won't be marching into Mordor without a really solid army though, so we'll be waiting for like more Iron Guard and the Dragon Slayers and stuff to arrive. Temple Marksman, actually thinking about it, would probably be one of the most awful units we could fight. Hey there, Welts and Ricky. Armour-piercing archers of any kind, really, would be like kryptonite to the dwarves. Because you can do nothing about them kiting you around. Oh yes, we have the diplomat in the angle, don't we? It's difficult to keep track of all my agents at this point. Caer Andros is under attack. I'm really surprised Gondor is still holding on, to be honest with you. Hopefully we can give them a bit of relief. That is a lot of buildings that we need to build. Pretty much everywhere, including Skarn. Which is good. End of turn report. I'm surprised we're that far down in terms of financial, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure why that would be. Lots of recruitment as well. We are actually, I think, getting to the point where we're pushing our finances to breaking point. So I think from now on we're going to be a little bit more discerning with what we decide to build. Right then. So we can build an Arakani clan hall, which we shall do, because why not? Right, so how many... So 2 more units is all this guy needs. We don't have axe throwers, but axe throwers might... Well, I guess the axe throwers would be somewhat useful, actually. So we'll go for 1 unit of axe throwers, and we'll go for an extra unit of healthy mattocks. So we've got that little bit of extra punch in melee, should we actually come up against any of the Loc units, or Loca. You have added the title The One Ring and now it's disappeared. No, apparently it hasn't. We've just won 1 battle outside of Skarn, Ricky, and we're going to be moving forwards to try and rush down Mistrand. Technically, mounted crossbows should be the nightmare of the dwarves. There's not many of those in Divide and Conquer, though, is there? I know that the Misty Mountains have them, but they're like wargs, so they're easy to counter skirmish. And one problem mounted crossbows often have is the fact they don't really have much range. So something like our Blacklocks would just be able to mow them down. Right then. So you're going to start moving forwards. You can actually just dive into this settlement. Technically means we've got a full stack, albeit it is a little bit depleted in places. That'll be fine for now. Right. We also need to continue to move with our units. We have Bargruk. Fascinating name. He's going to be moving this way as well. Everything we have, in fact, more or less, is going to be moving this way. Ah, yes, this. Yeah, we'll keep moving him down here as well. Onazanar. 2 units of King's Halberds. Whatever happened to that? Oh, there they are. Yeah, we already moved them. Right then. Now let's go through everything we have. Felkazash. What do we have which can assist us with you? A large pig farm. Dorwinion also has mounted crossbows. Well, Dorwinion, hopefully they won't turn on us. Kirit Cathal's already building the armourer. Erebor, we've pretty much come to the end, I think, of what we can build in Erebor that will give us money. Well, actually, I guess this would. Building income. Now, there's a few things we can do. Build an armourer. Oh, Nazanar, still building something there. Witherboard. Go for a practice range just in case, but at this point we actually won't just be blindly building everything, because we may actually run into a few money issues. Just a few. Dane's Halls. A great Miner's Hall. Yeah, we'll go for a catapult maker. I thought we were building one, but I guess we weren't all this time. Aulstone. There's really nothing here that I really want desperately. So I guess we'll just go with that. Goblin Town, we're already building something there. Gundabad, building something there. Litash, we're building a mine. which we should probably also think about building here, because we are actually starting to tick down our money. Which faction we play next? I haven't fully made up my mind yet. I was thinking Bree, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Just 4 turns on that one? No, we'll go with that. Mines for everybody. Right, and we also did have, yes, there they are, the mighty hammers of Gundabad. They'll get into Latash, and then we will start moving towards Khan Doom as well. What fun. And that, I think, is again all we can do. So yes, we will be still a fair distance toward Mistrand. Right, we'll just assume that Dorwinian are going to be fine. Right, that is a big old force in there. But it's a big old force of nothing too scary. So I feel okay. I would like to send another smaller army down with him, to be honest with you, but just in case we do get set upon by multiple armies, that would be the worst thing. Bree is good choices. Enidwaith and Dunland we changed in version 5. Well, yeah, that was also one of my thoughts, is that Bree already seem to be pretty highly developed. Like their unique recruitment system, the fact that they have like a big scripted event that happens. Easier said than done, probably, to take Mistrand. I mean, if we have to kill off a few smaller armies first. Yorkshire tea sucks. Changed my mind. Thank you for the tip, Dominic. I'm a bit more of a fan of Earl Grey, personally. Like a bit of Assam as well. But they're types of tea more so than brands. The last ride of the Rohirrim. So yeah, Rohan are struggling. Dol Guldur are also struggling under Thranduil's mighty hair products. Edoras' siege, Dol Guldur is diminished. So yeah, Rohan and Dol Guldur are struggling, as is Gondor now, with Caer Andros crumbling. Relations improved with the Anduin Vale. Recruitment reports. Ooh, Iron Fist hammers. Glorious. Another fine unit to add to the collection. We are actually just going to combine all of this into a single army, so I don't have to keep. You can keep moving though. As for everything else, construction complete in Onazanar. Bit of extra cash will start filtering through, perhaps. Speaking of extra cash, though, build another mining complex here. It's about time Onazanar started to become a little bit more of a money maker for us as well. Controlling the Sea of Rune is so OP. Well, that might be why Dorwinian snowballed then, because I know that economy-wise you can see all of the boats that crisscross over the Sea of Rune. So it does make perhaps a certain amount of sense. Okay, Ringbearer. Right, we've got a good corridor of vision. Maybe we will take another settlement as well, so that we can move forward our support to be a little closer. Keep an eye on Mistrand with our spy, because it's going to be a while before this guy here arrives with another army anyway. So we kind of need to make do with what we've got, which does mean we need to be a little bit careful. But not the end of the world by any means. So I think as well the time has probably come to form up an army and start heading towards Khan Doom. So how much can we get away with before Latash starts complaining would be my question. I mean, we're not going to take any labourers or depleted units. We're going to have potentially 2 units of Hammers of Gundabad in this army, which is a scary, scary thing. Maybe we will have a couple of labourers. Yeah. Latash doesn't love the idea of that, so Gimli is going to remain. So how much do we actually need? A full row -2. Right, well the hammers are going to go with him. Don't know if we necessarily need... Well, yeah, I mean Gimli himself is there, so we'll just go with a bunch of quality. I think we should have an armory in here as well. We're not going to take any more of the archers because that's not necessary. A unit of the cavalry would not go amiss, just in case we need to use them. Does he actually have any archers in his army? No, he doesn't, does he? So yeah, he probably should get a couple of archers. Actually, he can have the dwarven archers, because if they do attack us, we need a force that can at least hold Mount Graham. 2 more. We're going to need to siege because we don't have any siege weaponry with us, but that's not the end of the world. What do we have in there? Another unit of cav, maybe? No, Latasha's already on the verge of revolting. Thranduil is only doing well because I eliminated Gundabad. There are 2 other settlements in your way to Mistran. Yeah, there's Rubar and then there's one other that I can't remember the name of. But I'm probably just going to skip over that and just go right for the heart. Depends on how many armies we see. If we see like full stacks roaming around in this part of Rune, then we'll have to reconsider our options, but not the end of the world. 2 more units. Do we really need 2 more units though? No, I'm thinking we'll be fine with that. No mercenaries available. And I think... yeah, we are good to go. Interesting to see Khan Doom. Khan Doom is exactly the same as we all know it in Reforged as well, so no need to be... yeah, we've actually reached the limit really of what we can afford. Even with our mighty economy, we've got a lot of units out on the field now. Gundabad often pressured by Erebor. To be fair, Erebor haven't done too well under their own steam in the last 2 campaigns that we've played, but then perhaps my campaigns previously have been a bit atypical, because we've seen Dorwinion dominate Rune twice, and we've seen Khazad-dûm be victorious against Moria both times fairly comprehensively. Even Rohan weren't useless in one of them. Will you trigger a Doomstack after taking Mistrand? I've no idea, George, to be honest. Mistrand, though, is not a unique city, is it? So it's one of those that... it's like Fire Nobel from the last campaign, where we dominated 2 armies because the ballista towers were very strong. We've actually lost production to Mordor, but that's probably because Gondor's starting to fall away. Faction announcements, bits and pieces, construction report in Goblin Town and in Kirik Cathol. Right, this is somewhere where we do actually need to start gaining a little bit more in terms of cash, so we'll build a grain exchange. More money all around. We just need cash. Right, we do need to be a little bit careful. I don't think Angmar will be able... I think they did have something over here. But... if I recall, like, the High Elves should be pressuring them, really. Construct a Watchtower. No mercenaries available. Okay. Construct a Watchtower there. That road bends around that direction. Can we cross the river anywhere here? Or do we have to go this way? Mistrand is just a big city. Are there any river crossings here, or am I wasting my time trudging through that forest? There are some useless buildings in Goblin Town. That's a good point. I never deleted buildings in Goblin Town. Slave pits. Actually, that is useful, weirdly enough. So's that. So's that. That's a dwarven building. That's useless, though. Getting rid of that. Leather tanner. Ooh, orcish leather. Okay, yeah. That was it. Bit of extra cash, though, which is actually useful at this stage. You in there. And you as well. It's going to be quite a strong bunch. Right, we can, I think... King's Warriors. That's the axe thrower unit, isn't it? Yes, it is. Not all that important to me though, because I think we're just going to be trying to use as many Blacklocks as we possibly can, to be honest. Blacklocks will be the future for us. Right, so the big question is, just go down. Right, well, Rhubarb is wide open for attack, so we may as well grab that on the way through. That being the case, does Dale hold on to this region? It looked like it. There's a little blue line there, so I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and assume they do, which makes our flank a little bit more secure. So that being the case, it's a bit risky perhaps, but I'm going to send Thorin Stonehelm forward as well. And he can then garrison Rhubarb as we move forward. It's not a brilliant army, but it'll do. I wonder what will happen first, an attack on Rhubarb or an attack on Khan Doom. We shall have to wait and see. Forgot to move them, but that's not the end of the world because they're going to be arriving at the same time as that other general arrives anyway. You need some free upkeep buildings to stable that economy. I mean, I'm not actually garrisoning that many troops, to be honest with you, Saucy. Like, I've got a few very big armies and a few stacks out in the field, but I'm not actually garrisoning that many troops that aren't in free upkeep already. So that actually wouldn't make that much of a difference. Under normal circumstances it might, but on this occasion, a little bit less so. West of Rhubarb is a castle also. The Arakani. They're probably doing quite well at this point, to be honest. They were already pressurising. Yeah, sure. Take guilds wherever we can. Construction reports. In Erebor, what can we build, I wonder? Go with that. Elsewhere, I don't actually think there's much else we can build. Yeah, we don't want to build anything there. You keep moving downwards. You get into that army there. As soon as these guys arrive, we can start moving eastward. You guys move. Ooh, hello there. What are you? Right, okay, so with that actually we will move back to Skarn. That there is a bridge battle, which I'm all too happy to take, to be honest with you, because we have Ballistae and you don't. So it's going to be quite painful for you. And if that army there wants to attack the would-be ring bearer, soon the Arakani will try to take Linden. I mean, we're a long enough past the barracks event at this point that I would not like to be them attempting that. Especially not against Círdan. His general's unit is Mithlon Nobles, isn't it? Insane levels. Right, I wonder if they're going to pull backwards actually from this engagement. They're going to have nothing to offer. I mean, to be fair, I've said that before, but most bridge battles we've seen thus far have been backs to the walls jobs. Blacklocks. Right, we need to keep these boys safe, because if we do need to defend Mistrand against any sort of doom stack, they will be absolutely vital in the doing. Spears. The ring bearer, or hopefully will be the ring bearer. Mattocks, spears. And you know, King's Spears, you can wait at the back actually. You can go here actually and get ready to just fire at will. Our Ardenium armies were made stronger and more numerous. Well, I mean, to be fair, the Ardenium are not exactly a poor quality faction, so they might... Like, you rarely hear stories about the High Elves losing, like, in terms of the AI in this game, though. If you're not affecting, like, how the High Elves do things directly by attacking them or helping them, they generally just sort of hang around and very slowly but surely expand. At least that's the general gist that I've been told. The big question is, will they actually move forwards? Possibly. Right, well, they're just going to get absolutely pounded on. I guess they don't have sufficient range to shoot over the bridge directly, which is good. They will be forced to attack us. You love to see it. Poor Daratai units. They're really not very good, actually, having a look at the stats of the Daratai, which makes like the start of Rune a little bit hairy, because they're the only units you have access to at the very start, but that quickly changes depending on who you decide to go after first. I think now they are moving across. This is going to be pretty ugly for them. We may not be the elves, but our archers should do pretty well against these very basic units, such as they are. They're just going to try and shove their way through? Probably, right? Get a unit of regular infantry up there as well. What are you doing? Yeah, we should be just fine. Big problem with most early tier units for Rune is that they're unshielded, so archers can seriously hurt them. Yeah. Problem if you decide to try and stab Cand in the back. Oof, boy. Okay, maybe that's not such a grand idea. Hey, we have that Dale Cav as well. Get in there. A little bit disappointed that they're doing this much damage to my upgraded Stonefoot spears, but such is the way of things, I suppose. Yeah, we're not going to be able to hit them from here, unfortunately, because that banister for the bridge is apparently sufficient to make them impervious to all forms of damage. Okay, we'll just get the general in there at this point. Right, that'll be enough to rout them, I think.
Let the crows have his miserable bones, and let our swords have his men. Only half the enemy force remains.
Right, where's the one that's... Yeah, guard mode is just so... There are a few areas of polish where I do think Dak... Something about it's different and not in a good way in comparison to the other submods, where it feels as though like there's some sort of upgrade or patch or something that they haven't integrated that everyone else has. Maybe that's just me though. Come on, there we go. Durin's Guard on the front line. That should be them starting to rout. Again, look how many of our Stonefoots are dying. These units are crap as well, so it just goes to show that the Stonefoots aren't really amazing. They're decent as a workhorse unit, but even with upgraded armour, they've still been a little bit... substandard. Anyway. Slow and steady wins the race. There we go. Right, that's enough. Right, hunt them down. Just wait till you need to use those early Bree units. Yeah, but the problem that I have with a few of the early tier Dwarven units is not so much that they're bad, it's just that they're not as good for Dwarven units as I would expect them to be. Like, you'd expect them to be dominant against basic clansmen from Rune, and they still end up taking more casualties than you would think. So it's a little bit. Whereas with Bree, like, my perception of them early on is that they're garbage and they won't be able to achieve anything at all. So, expectations are important.
This is a clear victory.
94 losses isn't the worst thing in the world, I suppose, though. For clearing up these units. I haven't fully decided that Bree is going to be the next faction I even play. It's just at the top of the list for the moment. Execute them. Right, can we attack Rhubarb right away would be my question. We can, which I think we shall do. They actually have a general in here, but that's not... I mean, having cavalry isn't really going to be very helpful for them. So, yeah, I don't see why not. We may as well. I mean, we have to move through this road anyway to get to Mistrand in the first place. So, let's do it. Don't know if they get any... if they've built an armory here, in which case they will get some sort of basic boys to help them out. And they don't, and the other unit is a unit of cavalry as well. And he's just a unit of Locrian Bodyguard. So let's go. I'd rather go with the Dunedain. Will there be a poll? I don't know, I think I'll probably make up my mind on this one, just directly, because the issue is, like, when I make a poll whenever I feel as though the poll will be equal. If I put up a poll saying Dunedain or Bree, I don't even need to put up the poll to know that the Dunedain will win. But also it comes down to the fact that everyone wants to see me play the more powerful factions first, whereas I think a little bit of variety would be good. Okay. So, first things first, we will need to take out some of these towers. Right, so this time, I think we will still... we'll lead the way with... well, not with the general, because Locrian Bodyguard are not really what we want to be fighting off against these Stonefoots. Again, the Stonefoots probably need to be the workhorse this time, because there is cavalry abound. So you can go there, and you can go there. You there, there. Black Locks. Sure, you can go there at the back as well. And there is... the spear unit. Okay. Yeah, this is this isn't a massive town. There's a few towers we need to take down. Can't use too much of our ammo though, because we need some for the gate. Again, I think we've already had a look at this, but I believe, yeah, I don't think the Mattocks have got an armour upgrade, because this is just their regular look. These are big buildings, so you would imagine, although they're making a right meal of that. Come on, your ballistas, you should be accurate. How can you overshoot it that badly? Okay, well you didn't that time at least, which is gratifying. Shoot that one. And shoot that one. They might change after a second upgrade. I've seen one or two. Yeah, possibly. Although I think actually we had a look. We have actually seen some Iron Hills Mattocks with 2 levels of armour upgrades already. But still, it's nice to have a unit like this early on. Like, this is the unit I would say early on that impressed me for Erebor, because it's just nice having that AP damage early that is that high quality as well. And hey, Windy. Windy's also doing a Dunedain campaign, to be fair, so that's worth bearing in mind, which is another reason why I probably wouldn't do it, because I've been watching that one. So I already know sort of what to expect. Right, Black Locks. Again, we really want to be keeping the Black Locks as safe as humanly possible. Right, we'll move forward with you a little bit. Paranoia abound. Well, it's a good thing that the Dwarven shock infantry units are tanky, to be honest, because their charge bonus is not all that great, and they're so slow that even if their charge bonus was really good, there would be a few problems. But we'll be able to see some Hammers of Gundabad in action in a moment, I think, because we'll be marching on Khan Doom with an army that's got 2 of those units in tow. And they are allegedly the best unit of armour-piercing shock infantry in the game. Their stats would seem to back that up. Hey there, Charles Buckle. Right, what do we want to lead the way with? Probably... we'll go with the damaged spears, because we'll probably collate these into like 2 units at some stage. We'll also go in with the ring bearer, would-be ring bearer, and a unit of Mattocks as well. Now, you know what? 2 units of Mattocks. Good. Gallo did a video ranking them. Not actually watched that. No, I haven't watched it either. But just looking at what's available, because like really, like of all the Dwarven shock infantry units, the Hammers of Gundabad are the best. The Elves don't really have an armour-piercing shock infantry unit, so it stands to reason. I don't really know what else would be on the same level, really, as the Hammers. Right, what else do we want? Axe throwers, perhaps? In the confines of a settlement? Actually, you know what? Probably what would be better is a unit of archers up on the walls. Elves have the smiths. Yeah, but they're not a shock infantry unit, though, Charles. They're a shielded... a shield and hammer unit, so they're more of a sort of line fighting unit like that. Shock infantry is like a 2-hander. Yeah, but again, Sindar Axemen are shield and axe, aren't they? That's the high elven sort of mid-tier. Again, the prerequisite for an armour-piercing shock infantry unit is it's a 2-handed weapon that has AP on it. So you can't count the Elder Enway Swordmasters and you can't count the Smiths, because they are different. Elder Enway Swords are not AP, Badania. They just have really high base damage, which, whether that's better or not, is dependent on the situation, I would suggest. Have you had to fight off against Barrow Wights yet? No, I haven't. We might run into them as we attack Khan Doom, but we did fight off... The unique Angmar general we fought in Mount Graham was the orc guy that's mounted with the archer wargs. And we did see as well the unique general that has the dark blades as his model, but he ran away. Hey there, Jasdeep. I'm not too worried about Angmar though, because I think we've already taken Litash and Mount Graham. With Khan Doom gone as well, that's the heart of their realm completely gone, so at that point Ered Luin and the Dunedain should just tear them to pieces. The only problem with that is I know that the Angmar Doom stack spawns in between Khan Doom and Litash, so that will be our problem that we need to deal with. Mordor two-handed units. They've got the Sauron's Will and the Temple Wards. The Sauron's Will are AP, but they're nowhere near the same level as the Hammers of Gundabad. And the Temple Wards again are a two-handed sword that don't have armor piercing. No, not the Eregian Smiths in Dak have got the shield and hammer still, which makes, I think, sense in lore for them to have that. Right, this should be enough, really. Should we? No, we'll just go in with all of our Stonefoots. Tough gate. Although it could just be that most of the shots are missing somehow. Canned Warlord Axemen are on level with King's Axes of Erebor. They're better, aren't they? I thought those Candish axes were better than my tier 2 axes. They're not as good as like my higher level offerings, to be sure, but I thought they were like really, really good. I thought they were highly rated. Especially for Canned, for whom most of your infantry is, let's be honest, not exactly the cream of the crop. Right, so where are we? You get on this wall. Let's get you running in here. Do we have... Yeah, I was going to say. You stay out here for the moment because they're probably going to try and target you down if we move you in. And you also need to move forward. I guess it's just a relative thing. Like, again, for the same reason why I felt kind of disappointed with the Erebor infantry is just because I expected more of them. Technically speaking, they're still a fine unit. Besides, let's be honest, as Canned, you're going to be using infantry like that as like defense in a siege or offense in a siege to take the walls or something. For the most part, what do we have here? That's not exactly the smartest move you've ever made. We didn't even get a charge off. Yeah, finish them off if you please. And you can wait here. Just let the spears do their thing.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Arulad Dragon Riders. Yeah, that's going really not very well for them. I do want to see how the Iron Fist hammers look as well. That should be quite an interesting unit to behold. The highest tier of melee Arakani dwarves that we get. Can we, I wonder, pull through? It's only, wow, they melted. Crazy. That's a little bit more like it from a unit of spears. One Arulad Dragon Rider remains. Taking the gold for yourself. Yeah, that's a good point. Easterling armour is gold coloured. We can melt that down, add it onto the pile back at Erebor. You love to see it. You can go that way, and you... yeah, we'll start making our way through the settlement, I suppose. The classic Candish marauders. They did that UI competition, and if you were successful, or successful to some level, you would get like a general named after you in the game. And I have to say, one of the things that I would probably, if I had any sort of artistic talent with that sort of thing at all, one of the things that I would have suggested for myself would be an Arakani general for Erebor that starts off with a unit of Blacklock engineers. I think that would be pretty cool. Can we... no, okay. It would also give Erebor a bit of a ranged tool to start with, which would be quite nice. Let's flood in. Yeah, there we go. It's hardly worth getting you on this wall, actually, because they're not going to come forward, are they? So yeah, you get down. A couple of volleys was all it took. Hey there 2020, yes, everything is quite nice. Nice clear day today, albeit very cold. So you go over here. Don't know if they're actually going to get... I mean, the Locrian Bodyguard are fairly tanky, so yeah, you go over here. Not even in the town centre at this point. To be fair, this is where the Stonefoot spears are much more at home. I'd imagine the Arakani have probably had to engage with the Easterlings in this way and many times in the past. That would be quite an interesting story to tell, like the Blue Wizards interacting with the Dwarfs of the Red Mountains and the various tribes of Easterlings and Veriags and Southrons. Well, I guess maybe less the Southrons, but that would still be quite an interesting thing. Yeah, they're dying. Making their way through. It's raining here. Did you stick? Well, I mean, it may be the sun may be shining, but it's definitely a wintry sun. The bite of winter is in the air. There we go. Perfect. Now then, let's get you forwards. You move there. I hope there will be new Tolkien lore. Well, I mean, depends. A lot of new Tolkien lore tends to be of questionable quality. But I mean, if someone who knew what they were doing got a hold of, like, the Arakani, the tribes of the Easterlings and the Veriags, I think you could, and the Blue Wizards, I think you could make a really good story out of that. In my humble opinion. Yeah, this is going to be fairly quick, I think. Just through sheer numbers, we're going to be able to deal with them fairly fast. There's not many generals, though, that are like the Locrian, halberdiers, armour-piercing polearms. Dorwinian have got the High Paladins, which is a two-handed sword. Dale have got their arch. I'm trying to think if there is any other halberdier bodyguards in the game. Off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of any. They may be unique in that regard. Yeah, but the thing is the East wasn't necessarily painted as evil. Maybe Rune slightly more so because of their adoration of dragons, but like the East has always been painted as more of a divided land than anything else that Sauron was able to dominate. And they are still men, ultimately. They're the only polearm general. I mean, Faramir's line in the movie that everyone keeps citing about how that Haradrim soldier, like, what lies drew him from his home to fight. It's always, like, the implication that, like, the Haradrim are not, like, rotten to their core in the way that the orcs are. Men were always the ones that were sort of more susceptible to Melkor and later Sauron's machinations. Yeah. Here we go. He's going to go right for the general. Right for the throat. It's not going to go the way he wants it to, I don't think. From my point of view, the three people are evil. What are you doing? Get in there. Oof. Our general's probably right up in the business of all of these nasty halberds, which would be a bit of a... It would definitely slow things down if we were to lose this guy. They should fall away more quickly, though. They will fight to the bitter end. Where is the general? He is... somewhere. Is he further back? Yes, he's back here. Okay, we will be absolutely fine because it's just the Durin's Guard that are up front and they will respawn and they are the ones most likely to deal death blows to the Locrian Bodyguard, so I'm perfectly happy with that. Why not use axe throws and blacklocks? Because the blacklocks were the ones that I didn't want to lose more than anything. And ultimately, like, the Durin's Guard will replenish. The Stonefoots were already slightly wounded, so we can... it was cavalry as well in the interior of the settlement, so the Stonefoot spears were always going to move in, and we're not going to take too many losses on the mattocks, I don't think, because they were attacking from behind and their AP is useful. We got reinforcements on the way anyway. It's more just paranoia, like the blacklocks are the things that when we get to Mistrand itself, they're going to be the most important thing. So we want to keep them nice and healthy. There's their general. He's doing quite a lot of damage to those spears. Those dwarves don't look like dwarves. What, these ones? The Arakani? Look at this guy, look, taking jabs from all of these spears. Oh, there they are. That's the officers for the... I can't believe I didn't notice this before. Those are the Iron Fist hammers, aren't they? So that will have a full unit of those boys on the front line soon. Yeah, I know. That's one thing that I do remember about the Blacklocks is they're not very good in melee. Like, they've got like the defensive capabilities, but they're not going to do much damage at all. Bring that man down. Tough guy. I know he's going up against basic spears, but there he goes. He took one with him. Yeah, that's acceptable. The guarded city, with its 7 walls of stone, has already been sieged once by Mordor so far. I wonder if we get the ring, by the time we get down there, Gondor will probably have already been mostly eaten. We might actually just be giving a bunch of free land to someone like the Arakani. Interestingly enough. Right, this is a place that Rune have had for a while, so we shall prepare. What can we build? An armory, perhaps? Sure, why not? We'll be moving on fairly quickly, I think. I mean, it kind of depends on what this army here does. But we shall see. Right, this guy's still waiting for Captain Curry to arrive. Right. What have we over here? What awaits us at Kharndoom? Absolutely nothing, interestingly enough. Okay. We can't quite besiege it yet. We're a little bit too far away, but next turn that will be easy enough to do. What is this? That is trash, is what that is. Well, Can we get down there? Yeah, we can. What about with you? There we go. Just have an extra unit on the front. The Tash is in no danger of getting attacked, so yeah, having another full unit of labourers will definitely help. Do we have anything that we can spare? These units here, actually, we could probably send northward, so we shall. No free upkeep on them anymore, but that will still be useful. Okay then, that is as much as we will be able to do. Dwarven Dagger for Dwarves, so acumen and personal security. Personal security is not really terribly useful though, is it? Because there's no assassins in Dak. Hey there, Morris. Right. Well, let's see. They might try and siege us, or they might... I mean, to be fair, we've got King's units. This army's mostly made up of rubbish that they've assembled pretty hastily. Maybe Gimli, even in his crippled state, will be able to contribute. We shall see. There is the fort over there to the east, but that's not terribly important. Rubar is actually a fairly rich settlement, even though we've only just taken it and taken the populace away. It does go to show that Rune have actually put some time into upgrading this. Go on, Khazad-dûm. I feel like I'm really carrying Team Dwarf here. Gonna try a naval invasion? Do it. Mistrand is completely full, which is something to consider. Isengard as well. Yeah, with Gondor starting to fall apart, I mean, even if we kill Mordor, to be fair. Okay, so they are sieging us. Very well then. Anuminas has been rebuilt. Marvellous. An axesmith skilled in Rubar. I'm actually not going to build that because I don't know how long we're going to hold on to that. Edoras has fallen. Construction report in a few places. Okay. Need to actually wait for our money to rebuild a little bit. Mount Graham. Rohan has been utterly vanquished. Right. So that will be another army that we're sending this way. We can actually buy a unit of Dale Cav instantly as well, which no, maybe not, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. This guy looks a little bit... He looks ready for business. That's a grim, determined look. No, we're saving money. We don't really need another unit of Dale Cav anyway. Not to the east. Right. Siege towers would actually be somewhat useful here. Maintain the siege. Hopefully they actually attack us and they don't just sort of sit there sieging us down. Yeah, there's nothing in that army that's especially frightening. Javelins are awkward. Pikes potentially are awkward. But like when it comes down to brass tacks in melee, and also the position that we hold, we should be just fine. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But you are on the way. Can we build anything over here? Because if we can, nothing that's useful. Fall of Aule is nice. Mining complex. Okay. Ah, you two. Actually, you've got free upkeep, so you stay there for the time being. You can keep moving this way. Right, he's just sitting there. I mean, even if I leave, do I care if this place rebels? Not really. Or do I? I don't think I do. I think we keep moving. They're not even that unhappy. And this place is also completely undefended. The road to Mistrand is open. Dale can technically use this as a staging ground to conquer. I mean, I don't know how much of this land they hold. Runes still hold on to this settlement here. But I think Dale have this one around here. Okay. Well, that's all we can actually do at this stage, unless there's anything we can build. A market. Yep, that'll be more cash. Is there anything else we can build for money purposes? Not much at this point. We've already built most of what we can for that. Merchant's Quarter would be nice, but it's very expensive, and we can't afford such frivolities at the moment. One more turn until the mining complex in Latash is done. Okay, yeah. So this is going to be potentially a defence of Mount Graham, which is not going to be the easiest defence in the world, but it should still be something we do. But we'll see if Gimli, crippled as he is, has it within himself to hold on to the prize that cost him his health. Agendower's still running around somewhere. Ah, hello there. So, another town must fall, but this one is actually defended. It's probably not going to be defended sufficiently, though. Kharndoom under siege. Kharndoom has been besieged by its enemies. Us. Paths in the snow as wide as roads have been carved by the feet of the encroaching assailants. Their banners whip and shriek as the cold wind bites at them and covers all beneath a shivering dread. Snows impede the march, whittling down the enemy as if the Witch King of old had sent the blizzard. Angmar's forces must hold the position and fight their foe to the last orc. Their enemies have come far, but they must be stopped if the remnant is to survive. The forces have no choice but to repel the assault, otherwise they will be slain without mercy. Defeat is not an option. Gimli is crippled. I mean, he's not really crippled, but because he technically died last time, he has to stay in Mount Graham because he's wounded. And they are just going to sit there and siege me because they are cowards. Hopefully they don't continue to do that. But the longer they take to do that, though, the more likely it is we'll get some reinforcements on the go. So we'll see. Aha. You've already left it too long, I fear. We might have to fight this one, though, depending on... This is Agendower. So he is here. That's a lot of orc defenders. Barrow wights, snow trolls. Not trash. Okay then. I see you. We have this interesting looking dwarf facing off against Overlord Agendawa. Underestimate the orc defenders at your peril. We've been making more use of our generic generals, which I quite like. We haven't been just using our unique ones as a crutch. Two units of Hammers of Gundabad, they're already doomed. Right then. So, yes. Whereabouts will they be coming from? Because there is going to be reinforcements, I think. Maybe from behind? Actually, no, it won't be, will it? Because I'm attacking in front, so there will be no reinforcements. No one will save them. Actually, you know what? We will move further back, because if they do want to retreat right back to the town centre, those axe throwers are going to be really good in this battle. Yeah, because of the slopes on the slopes within Khan Doom. What on earth is going on there? Weird. Anyway, we do have Axe Guard of Erebor, who do not need to be carrying ladders. Hammers of Gundabad, who we don't want doing that. We might get you to move a siege tower forward. You, however, most certainly will not. Agendawa himself is going to be introduced to some axe guard, I think. Actually, you know what? We'll have the general roll with the axe, with the hammers. Archers are already in a group. You're just hanging out as a sort of auxiliary unit, I suppose. As a you. That being the case, you two can actually be in a little group over here. And then the mattocks, which should be quite nice as well. Oh, they're already way back there. Excellent. So the towers will not be active. This general is staggeringly ugly. Yeah, he is. Look at this poor man. He looks like he's been hitting the long bottom leaf a little bit too hard. But you know, we can't judge. Orc defenders are good at wounding generals. The general's named Fieri. Guy Fieri himself. We're going to change Khan Doom's name to Flavour Town. Naturally. Open up a few chains. You may as well just drop this, because we're just going to get inside the town and do our business there. He looked like Hagrid from the first Harry Potter game. You know, that's not... Yeah, like the one that's got a very angular face. The one that looks like he's been like stung by a bee. But no matter. Where's Agendawa? Let's go and have a look. Yeah, he gets Temple Wards, which are a nasty unit, and there he is himself. A nice, unique... I mean, Barrow Wight, Snow Trolls, and Agendawa, those are three nasty, nasty elements to the army. But we should be okay. This could trigger the Doom Stack, though, which would make life a little bit more uncomfortable for us over here. Do you have to push the ram all the way up? Not if they sit there, no. Depends if they fall back into the TC, which they probably will. So we'll probably send... I don't know if it's worth our while to split our force, actually. We should probably go round this way. Just because we have enough here that we should be able to utilise our axe throwers to good effect. Although they're actually coming out here. Where are they going? Crying out loud, guys, come on. Axe throwers move forwards just in case. Alright, yeah, now they're activating all the towers. The bastards. They're going to go up onto the gates. So, yes, we will need... We'll send the mattocks and all the axe throwers in first. So we're going to take losses now because they have decided to activate the towers after all. Oh, they're ballista towers as well. For crying out loud, hurry up, would you? If the AI was consistently good at doing this sort of thing, I wouldn't mind as much, but the fact that they seem to just magoo their way into being effective is somewhat frustrating. Come on, you're supposed to be labourers, you should be good at this sort of thing. Right, we might have to use our axe throwers on the barrow wights, depending upon what they elect to do. Nope, they're going up onto the walls, okay. Get in there. Send this unit of labourers in as well. This unit, though, should remount the ram and push it over here, just in case. And we'll disable all of the defences before we push up the rest. God, we're so slow. Right. You into position there. Axe guard of Erebor. There. Get ready to throw your axes. And then we'll put the mattocks into place as well. Just in case more reinforcements come down here as well, we should move our labourers into place. The towers have... We've technically taken the... How are you not in range? They're right there. Okay, you're in range. Yeah, you go over there. These guys are relentless, so they won't actually get staggered. So if we see one of them flinch, it means they're dying, which is, you know, it's a plus point, I suppose. Come on, throw your axes. No, don't reform. Oh, for Christ's sake. Just get in there and burn them down. Okay. I once took Khan Doom, Arid Luin, only got 3... Well, you must not have had to deal with the... What are you doing? Just form into a position and fire. Yeah, these mattocks are taking tons of damage because the axe throwers are not doing their job and hitting them at point blank range. That is a problem. Like, hand thrown projectiles are good, but like they're so fiddly to use. So being so dependent on them does kind of suck. We should at least be doing some good damage to them. Push forward with the Erebor infantry as well. Why not? Look how much damage we're taking. It's ridiculous just because our axe throwers won't fire. And if they do, it's like one dwarf goes, oh, actually, I feel like firing. These guys, however, the regular ones, are doing a much better job of it. God, these poor mattocks. They've been mullered. But such is the way of things. There's no avoiding this. Just this is how it is going to be, because trolls are just ridiculously strong. Right, now my axe throwers are actually firing and probably getting more friendly fire than anything else, to be honest with you, but at least they're doing something. Okay, now they're taking damage. Good. Get in there. Finish them off if you please. In melee, the axe guard should be up to a little more than the mattocks here. We could do with a little bit more ammunition for later, so we'll hold them in reserve. With Axe Guard of Erebor in here, they should fall away more quickly. There's still one on the wall, isn't there? No. Oh no, there's a Barrow Wight up there. Well, he shouldn't last too much longer. We do have the armour upgrades on our infantry as well. Being relentless probably helps the Barrow Wights substantially. We still have our archers. Let's see here. Come on, this is Axe Guard of Erebor now. You should be killing him. I'm sorry, he's already bloodied up. This should be light work for you. And it's just not. You're useless. I wonder how many of these he's actually going to kill. Where are the Barrow Wights dead? Right, sod it. Just get out of there. Right, this is getting a little bit silly now. Just kill him. Swing your axe and kill him. Okay, yeah. Or you could just continue to die like fools. There's still any Barrow Wights remaining? There's one, so he'll probably last about 10 years. Finally! Wow, you guys suck. Tier 3 unit, my left and right. We need to kill this Barrow Wight before we can move the rest of the army forward, otherwise the ballista towers are just going to go to town on us again, which we don't want with our hammers, because they might be the only unit we have that is capable of not embarrassing us in melee. Okay. Good. Now, sprint forwards. We don't really need the Dale Cavalry in here, so we won't bother with them. Right, have they retreated into the TC? No, interestingly enough. I can't help it, Hrothgar. If the snow trolls are able to punt their way through, a one bloodied snow troll was able to kill off like 17 tier 3 dwarven shock infantry units. It's not good enough. Poor performance from a unit that I'm supposed to be reliant upon. We need to get ourselves into position here, so you go there. You go in behind them, or just anywhere. Yeah, you up here as well. And I think what we will do is we will send a force around here, because we'll be able to shoot. Actually, they're coming down here with some orc defenders. Strange choice. Well, we might actually get some good use out of our archers then. Are they coming down here, or are they... Did they... Nope. They decided against it in the end. Wise of them. You go there. And you, can you fit? No, that's not a place we can go. You go up there. You need to run. Haven't I seen this before? I mean, you should have seen Khan Doom before, Jesse. Because this is the same map for Khan Doom that Reforged uses. So it wouldn't surprise me if you've seen Khan Doom. But today, of course, we're taking it away from Angmar in a campaign. Still got a bit of ammo in some of these boys. Hopefully the timer doesn't start coming into play. We'll get our general over here as well. And the king's shields. The hammers we will keep back in reserve, because if we do need to give Agendour a beatdown, they will be the ones that we will need to do that with. And Orc Defenders, I mean, to be fair, Orc Defenders have proven to be the end of a general in the past, a general greater than this horror show of an individual. We're going to be setting up a position over here as well, so if they do try to counter-attack down the hill, we'll be able to hit them in the rear, and there'll be no retreat from this position for them. Oh, did they come down? No. Although I guess they're going to try and come down now. Those spears are stretched. Yeah, this will be good. Need to get our king's shields into position as well.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Hopefully with the support of some labourers, our general won't be bamboozled by orc defenders this time. I kind of miss the old Khan Doom with the final stand in the slope. I mean, to be fair, first time I played on Khan Doom was on this map, so I don't really have too much experience with the old version of Khan Doom. Hammers. Building captured. We won't really need the ram, in all honesty. Right, we'll get the axe throwers that still have ammunition further forwards. Yeah, shoot to the unit that's at the back. It'll be slow going, but that will be successful. Right then. You there. The rest of you, it's mostly... Where'd the Erebor infantry go? There it is. Those poor labourers are not doing too well on the front line, but it's kind of their job. They were only here as an additional buffer anyway. Nice to have our archers used efficiently as well. Right then. Let's put you there like so. See if we can't coax them into a frontal assault. Orc defenders, funny enough, are better than most orc factions. Yeah, that does seem to be the case. But they're not doing so well this time around. I don't know where our general is. He's probably right in the thick of it, knowing my luck. Although no. I think maybe he's actually using his brain and not just delving into the lines. Or is he? You'd think they'd stand out a little bit more with how ornate the Dwarven generals are. And the red capes on the... although there he is, yeah, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. Infantry going to trudge into place. The archers that we have as well, while they may be basic, they have been useful in the campaign. We don't want to be fighting uphill really into Agendour and his boys though. If possible. Let's see here. Still 71 of them. We're at the halfway point at this point in terms of the time limit, so we can't afford to be too precious about things. Let's just see if we can't throw some axes in here and do some damage. As soon as these orc defenders are out of the way, we'll go up there with the hammers. Would be better to use them on Agendour, but they're just going into loose, aren't they? It's a nice bit of extra damage, regardless of what they're actually doing. Okay, and that was it, apparently. That was their... Oh, they're going down there, are they? Well then. Fair enough. Right, well, with that news then, let's pull the general back, because we don't want him perishing. We'll get you ready to move in as well. They really don't want to attack into us, do they? Yes. We're almost out of archer ammunition, but they've done their job. Right, let's just get in there. Axe Guard of Erebor can go around this side. Dwarven Labourers can go over here. Right, let's go on the front foot with the brass clad hammers. Yeah, this should be... we should deal with them here. Right, and then let's just force our way through now with them, with the spears, and then let's also do the same with the general following them in behind. Won't use the labourers anymore, they've already done their work. Yes. Good. Yeah, that's what we want. Could you check the friendly fire damage? Probably a little bit of damage from the archers, but I mean most of that would have been on labourers, mainly because the odd hit into the back of a dwarven unit isn't going to necessarily kill them, especially with the lower archer damage that we do. Where is Agandawa? He's in there. This should be the end for them.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
I should certainly hope so. You know what, we'll get another unit of hammers up here. Get both of them in to do some heavy lifting. Yeah, with the temple wards, they're going to start to do some work against the Axe Guard of Erebor, but oh well. The rest of the units won't, and then when the temple wards are isolated, that'll be it for them. Orc defenders, and yeah, this might be enough to cause a doomstack to spawn, which would be a little bit of a problem given the somewhat tenuous position we now have up here in the north. But I mean, if we're successful in our endeavours here, this will cripple Angmar completely. The first hammer of Gundabad did fall there. We have lost one so far. Two. Every one a tragedy. Yeah, these axe throwers actually have started to take losses now that the temple wards have arrived on the front line. You'd imagine that we should be able to give as good as we can get, but not sure if that's necessarily going to be the case.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
You know what, we'll get some more dwarves up here, just so we can attack into the rear a bit more easily. Maybe George, but you never know. If they spawn now, Gimli's probably doomed, to be honest, because they'll be able to attack Mount Graham from both sides, and there's no way we win that fight. Only a military genius could bring us victory from this disgrace. God, look at that. They're absolutely massacring the Axe Guard of Erebor. I suppose they are max level temple wards. All chevrons, all everything. But still, again, another example of a dwarven unit not necessarily performing as I would have expected it to. You go over this way. I've only killed off a handful of them and they've absolutely butchered my axe guard. To the point where we will have to throw in some poor labourers to make sure that we still have enough manpower on this front line to continue the full surround. And they will die even more quickly. Very well then. Be surprised if we actually have any axe guard left at this rate.
We have lost half our men.
We've lost half of our soldiers. That's a pathetic performance, really. Given the numbers advantage we had, all it took was 3 decent Angmar well, I say decent, the Temple Wards are very, very strong, but again, it's just another one of those situations where I'm like, the Dwarves, they're not really the powerhouse they purport to be. If a full stack of elite units from Angmar would be enough to defeat a Dwarven army, it's questionable. For me. Highly questionable. Still 30 left, even in this situation. What are you doing? Get in there. About bloody time. Yeah, very disappointing in melee that from the Axe Guard of Erebor. Against the Snow Trolls and against the Temple Wards, they were made to look very, very average. Yeah, not a huge amount of, yeah, I mean, 254 kills on the Hammers of Gundabad. That's more like it. Without chevrons or weapon upgrades or armour upgrades, they still did the business. That's what I'm talking about. Guy Fieri victorious. It may be our undoing yet. Right. Yeah, these pathetic little stacks coming up here. The problem will be the Doom stack. Right, well we definitely need to... That's a lot of population that's being massacred, but it needs to be done. Right, a brewery. Get that culture on the go. Conqueror of Khan Doom, Guy Fieri. Recruitment reports, Blacklocks, that's good. Construction report, Latash. Mission failed, I really don't care about Morvatarth. So hopefully Angmar's Doom stack doesn't spawn at the loss of their capital, because if it does, it appears about here. Because I have seen it do so before. Right, can we build anything useful here that will get us money? Not really, is the answer to that. They're on the way, which they may be required. There's a lot of buildings in Khan Doom that you can destroy. Yeah, that's a fair point. There might also be no repairs actually that we need to do. Right, Royal Hall is useful. Army Barracks is useful. Hillman Barracks is not. Irrigation is useful. Roads, Armourer, Mason's Guild House, a catapult maker, so that'll be good. Mount Graham Stables, nope. Apothecary, Orc Pit, no. And an armory. We actually already have an armory, which is marvellous here. Barad Haleg. Right, good. So we should be able to hold on to that, but that was a shocking display by some of these units. Probably need to combine some units now, don't we? Let's see. No, that'll do. Well, aside from that, hopefully the Doomstack doesn't spawn, and hopefully this guy stops being such a coward and actually assaults the halls next turn. Right, yes, that's a good point. You in there, and you over there. That's a pretty strong little army now. Lots of tier 3 units. Some tier 2s. And we can also attack this place. All of a sudden, there's an awful lot going on. Right, this is going to be an instant assault as well. They're going to get reinforcements here. They do have a general. They've got chariots as well. They've got the Suryut chariots, which is something to be a little bit wary of, actually. But Blacklocks should be ideal for bringing them down. Okay. This might be a good opportunity as well. As soon as we take this place, we may actually need to rest up in this town for a little bit and wait for reinforcements, because I don't think we're going to be able to take Mistrand with the army after being damaged, which this battle will inevitably damage our forces. The dwarves are not flexible, so it's not the easiest task. Hopefully, I guarantee we'll get to the gates of Mistrand and it'll be like, oh mate, the ring's moved. Sorry. It is now in, like, Dun Larac or somewhere like that. Somewhere where you won't be getting to anytime soon. This actually isn't a particularly amazing settlement either, so they haven't developed this one all that much. These are arrow towers, I believe. I mean, we'll still destroy them, we may as well. They'll go down in a few shots only. Right, spears. Spear-wise, we're also looking a little bit thin on the ground. Well, I say that, no, we're not. Spear-wise, we're still doing just fine, really. Put them in between the ballista so they can react should it be required. Blacklocks need to be on station and ready. That's actually another stake deploying unit. So the Blacklocks and the Hammers of Gundabad can deploy stakes, which is pretty cool. Speaking of which, we may as well actually, that being the case, deploy some stakes. Wait a second. And the rest will all just be in behind. There is a school of thought that says that, you know, being hyper-aggressive is not really the way to ensure victory in this campaign at this point, but I want to be aggressive at this point because it's the thing that might engender a bit more challenge. Okay, wait, there's still one unit that's left out all on its lonesome. King's Shields, don't want you all the way over there. Spears. Right, the gates here should not be as strong either. There's the Locrian Bodyguard. The rest is all just Daratai and regular runic clan units though. Where are the chariots? Are they over here? There they are. The classic look. This care must be taken here though. If we can get our chariots up, if we can get our Blacklocks up onto the wall, that would be the most desirable thing, I think. Wow, really? A solid 0% of your shots landed and you're right there, I swear. Oh, for Christ's sake. You actually need to get into range of the towers before you can reliably hit them. Dwarven engineering at its best, eh? Yeah, time is of the essence, lads. You're missing again. Oh, you're useless. Actually useless. As well as this campaign has gone, the dwarves aren't half frustrating to play because they just can't react well at all. What was in this reinforcement army anyway? Ah, cavalry. So they will probably go around, so we can lay out the welcome map for them with some archers, and we shall use our spears as well. So yeah, we probably will need to rest up in this location, to be honest with you, and wait for reinforcements to arrive, because the classic dwarven attrition is biting us. You need to run into place. So do you, actually. Trying to go around my dudes. Right, you're just going to get friendly fire, so stop. Your accuracy's terrible. Yeah, they're not going to win this though. They're going to rout very, very quickly.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
And surround them if you please. And then there's that other unit, which is, was it Balkoth Tribesmen? Yes, so archers will be ideal for dealing with such things. Go there. Now you get into place. Right, what on earth is going on over here? You're embarrassing yourselves again, aren't you? 17% damage. How close do you have to get? You're absolutely worthless. God, we need dwarven catapults so badly. Ballistae are just such a liability. They're probably going to try and get into the... Right, if you can't hit it from there, I'm disbanding you next turn and we're going to sacrifice you to the gods. Can you... We should be able to kill most of these tribesmen off with just our archers. So that's nice. Where are they going? Strange decision making. Actual point blank shots being achieved. Don't know why I bother sometimes, I really don't. Run. I know that it's hard for you because you're dwarves and you're small and you're slow.
If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Alright, break these clowns, please. Where are they going? Could have sworn I didn't order them to go all the way back there, but...
General flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
Come on, one more hit. That's all you need to do. There we go.
Our enemy's wall.
I knew you could do it. I knew you had it in you to not be dreadful at everything you're supposed to be good at. Right. And now you get back into shape. Right. Okay. It's actually most important here to get our black locks forward and on those walls. We should also have our ballistas ready to actually shoot at stuff should the chariots come forward. You... They back? They back from routing? How lovely. Well, I mean, they were going for the ballista there, which I guess is the most dangerous ranged unit, but... And here we go. Are they actually going to come outside? That would be interesting. If that's going to be the case, then we should get into position with you lot. These Stonefoots have been absolutely devastating against the Aru lads so far. Nope, they're going that way. That's going to be a problem as well, isn't it? Because chariots tend to have really good missile attacks. God, the AI is so frustrating in this game. It's actually unreal how much it frustrates me sometimes.
The enemy's walls belong to us now.
And now we've got more of these jokers enabling the... We're not even going to be able to get up onto the walls, actually, which is not brilliant. For Christ's sake. You've lost. Just accept your fate. Hey there, King's Master. Right, good. That nonsense has been dealt with. I've no doubt we'll win this fight. It's just incredibly frustrating to have to go through all of these hoops. Where is all of our... And of course they get a really nice shot, and ours is going to suck. We're just going to have to bulldoze our way through. I mean, they're not going to destroy my career. They're still going to lose, and lose badly. They're just going to make life... That's the worst thing, though. I would accept like the AI actually being good and beating me. All they're doing, though, is making my life more annoying. That's all they can do. The only thing they can achieve. How far are you into destroying Rune? I mean, the next town on from this will be their capital, Mistrand, which is where the ring is. But that will have to be next time now. There's no way that we're going to be able to rouse an army, because we're going to need to get reinforcements on the front before I'm going to contemplate marching into Mistrand, because this army is going to be too damaged by the time we get it into place. Could we blast a hole in the wall, I wonder? Right, what's going on here? Why won't you go through? Push forwards. Right, that should be fine. Let's see if we can... I don't know if we have enough ammunition. Probably not. Right, actually now we have enough leeway, I think, to actually get up onto this wall. Up onto both walls, actually. With that in mind, let's not try and blast a hole in the wall. Dwarves are also slower on the world map. They're burning some of their own men as well here. Rune, so you can't be... Got to take the rough with the smooth, I suppose. Meanwhile, why are you just waiting politely in the way they can shoot you? Move. And now there's javelins. Lovely. This would not be happening if you just obeyed my orders when I told you. And what the bloody hell are you doing? Get up here. Tell you what, the terrible pathfinding in this, combined with how slow the dwarves are, is a nightmare made in hell. Right. So we can't hit the Suryut chariot, so just shoot at them. Just crush the javelins underfoot. Marvellous. You love to see it. What you don't love to see is these guys still not being able to put one foot in front of the other. What are you doing? On the wall. Okay, well, get off the wall then. Completely worthless. Right then. Well, that's the reinforcing general killed. Have we indeed? Enemy general fallen. Can you hit them? You can. Good. Spears first. follow them in with a unit of black clock so we can actually try and hit the Suryut chariots. Let's see if you can do that much at least. And reposition yourselves. I mean, they're brilliant when they actually get going. Like, the damage they're doing is extremely substantial to anything they hit. Hey there, Lucas. You're facing the wrong way again, lads. I don't mean to be too picky, but I told you to attack those guys, not walk backwards out of the settlement. I guess we'll just have to not issue attack orders. What is the best faction in DAC? In terms of the army and how elite the units are, then High Elves. If you mean economy-wise, possibly Khazad-dûm. Depending on... I mean, it depends what specifically you're asking. There's not really a universal best faction, because they're all good at different things. Like, if you mean like who has the most stuff at the start, for example, Gondor and Mordor have got more than anyone else, which gives them certain advantages. Right, so we can actually hit the Suryut chariots with these boys now, so we shall do so. Yeah, we're doing good damage to them. Get you lads in here. What's your favourite faction? I'm not sure, I haven't played enough of them yet. I like the heavy infantry nature of the dwarves, but their inflexibility is a serious problem. I'm not going to lie about that. It's the only barrier to me proclaiming them the best of the three that I've played so far. I think the elves, you are correct. The fact that you're so limited in terms of...
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Making a right meal of it though, aren't we? They're going to do so much damage to us in that choke point as well. It's so frustrating. We can't even use the walls really because they're too far away for us to utilise our... No, the axe throwers won't be able to shoot over their heads this close though, will they? Maybe? We'll see. Is Shattered Alliances worth playing? I've got no idea. I've not played that one myself.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Where's the general? Is he right on the front line? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, he's at the back. Okay, that's fine. Well, the chariots haven't really done their thing. And how are you getting hit? Oh, there's dragon riders over here. Send a unit of Mattocks to deal with them. Right, push through. That should be enough to do the business. Can you hit? A few of you can, which is better than nothing, certainly. This one chariot needs to be dealt with. And it was. Good. The arrow towers are absolutely destroying us, but that's okay. Yeah, the bodyguard's all kinds of messed up at this point, so we will be just fine. The axe throwers actually have been a bit of a difference maker, which is fairly gratifying. How much stuff does Rune have in Mistrand? A full stack, Guav, which is why we need reinforcements down here before we can take it. Hopefully the ring will not disappear before we are able to handle business. There we go. What I want to do is get the ring with this guy, and then have two stacks, one commanded by him and then a secondary one commanded by Dane, and we will just walk the ring to Mount Doom. That's the plan. But things rarely ever go to plan. The ring will probably disappear and we'll have to do things the old-fashioned way. Yes, there we go. Superb. Axe throwers? Sure. I mean, they'll have to come back over here anyway. Yeah, we're going to need, like, the Stonefoots have already done a lot of the grunt work so far. We won't need them so much now, though, because there's like a troop of King's units on the way, so it's not really as imperative that we... Okay, good.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Only a matter of time now. There we go. 377 losses. That's not as bad as it could have been. But a frustrating experience once again that the Easterlings have laid on. They can have just a full... I mean, most of the units in Mistrand are fairly basic, but point being, Rune are probably going to start to collapse fairly quickly when we start doing this, so the Doomstack could spawn at any moment. And the army we have here is definitely not going to be sufficient for fending off a Doomstack. And just in general, we're going to need to get units down here to walk the ring into Mordor anyway, so it makes sense to just play it somewhat safe. We're sort of encircling the whole of the eastern part of Middle-earth at this point. A ring of Dwarven steel. They actually still have units there, which is a little bit frustrating. Kill them. There we go. Right, they probably don't have an armory here, do they? Or do they? We need to repair the town. Do they have an armory? No, they don't. Okay. Well, that in mind, let's buy one. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. 32. They're going to be able to retake that town as well. Can we get a unit of cavalry back there, I wonder? We can, actually. So we're going to do that. Because then they'll have to siege, and I don't think they can build siege equipment with cavalry, so they're kind of out of luck. Can we get anyone else back? No. Okay. Well, that was actually siege weapon. Okay, yeah, that's fine. There's no need to lose that town if we don't have to. If a full stack comes over and takes it, then fair enough, but we're not going to lose it like that. And there's these boys up here. This guy is going to be on the way with a bunch of decent stuff. And that's all we can do for the time being, because we've already built as much as we can. We've moved units, I think, as far as we are able. Still can't quite build what I really want to here, although, you know, to be fair, Mount Gundabad is really just an economy province as well. 600? Wow, Merchant's Quarter, let's go. Money on top of money. If there's any cheap money-making buildings we can build anywhere, I'm going to be doing that now. In most places, though, we've already built much of what we are able to. Yeah, we have, haven't we? Okay. Right, please, Angmar, please attack Gimli's place. Don't just keep sieging him down. Let's see what they decide to do here. Because, I mean, there's nothing stopping them necessarily from just continuing to siege, and it's wise because their units won't do too well in a grind against some slightly stronger dwarven elements. What I'm hoping for is no Doomstack to appear. We will need to be on the lookout for that, though, because if Angmar's Doomstack spawns when they lose a certain amount of troops, or lose a certain amount of territories, it will still spawn in the areas that we have got. They've emptied Mistran, so they're clearly worried about Dorwinian's continued push. Interesting. Ah, good, they're attacking. So this will be the final act of the stream. I don't know if we're actually going to win this or not. Actually, we have some Dwarven Defenders. That's cool. This is the first time we've actually seen Dwarven Defenders. And we actually have another general here. What's he doing here? I guess this must be Oh yeah, this is Gimli's son. Gimli's son finally came of age, and his first act is to help defend Mount Graham. That's cool. So we've got another general that we can use. We'll probably send him back to Litash so that he can govern that, provided we win this fight. We should do. This is a general as well, so is this Lord Skilled? That's a little bit worrying, because they get the... they're attacking from the side, oh no, they're attacking from the... Yeah, so they won't have the good terrain. Good. That could have been a little bit of a problem. No ballista towers, but a good defensive position. Dwarf defenders are actually better than Erebor infantry, possibly. Right, so they are going to be attacking from the side that doesn't get access to the hill that we did from the back. So let's get down to business. Right, you, Gimli, are going to sit here. Actually, you can go there, maybe, and throw axes potentially in there. Other axe throwers can sit on the other side and do much the same role, and archers will go in the middle and just unleash some death as they come through that position. We've got some decent units. So Dwarven Defenders. Right, we've got 2 units of Cav, which is not especially helpful, but I mean, maybe it could be. Maybe when they start to... They could be a rapid response force as well if the line starts to fall apart in one place or the other. You go over that side. Right, King's units over there. Erebor infantry, mattocks. And that leaves just the general, which you should go here. So this going to be one front line, this going to be another. Yeah, I think actually that is a decent idea. If I have a unit of cavalry on both sides, that means we can potentially just throw them in to wedge the enemy in place. Okay. They're on fire at will. I'm actually okay with that. The archers will be a little bit more picky with, but the axe throwers will just have them fire at the front line and thin out the herd as much as they are able to. Rudour savages and pikes are what we want to be shooting, possibly their general as well. Mount Graham as it was intended to be used. Gimli the Fortunate. He's probably here with like a wooden leg or something at this point. But no less strong. These units are light archers. Yeah, but we only need them to get arrows down range, and ultimately we're up against what is primarily a entry level Angmar force. Most of the Rudour savages and Rudour pikes, the units we're going to be trying to shoot, are going to be horribly weak to this sort of arrow fire. Right, where's their general? Should be the Dark Blades. They should be around here somewhere. Are they pushing the ram? Is it the Dark Blades? Or is it just a regular average Joe? Oh no, the stars weren't from Lord Skilled. They're from... Yeah, this is just a captain stack. Oh, we should be fine then. I mean, I'll try and get their archers with the cavalry, but it's going to be unlikely in a siege like this. When you're in like the mountain settlements, the dwarven holds and such, it's... Generally speaking, you're charging down choke points, and with pikes about, it's probably going to be easier said than done, but we'll give it a good go. Right. First things first, actually, before we... Nope. They may very well try and... Okay, obstructed. Nope, stop. Okay, yeah, go in like that. We'll try and give the axe throwers a bit of a better shot. I guess we'll do the same over on this side as well. Durin's Guard over on this side, so... You would expect good things. Right, they're going to come in with what first, I wonder? Is it worth shooting? Hillmen certainly aren't worth shooting. Probably worth shooting the Warg Raiders with one of our units of archers, to be honest, otherwise they're just going to prove to be a nuisance. So we'll just let them know that such actions will not be tolerated. If you want to cover your corners better, you should not use unit by... You should use unit by unit, not line. It doesn't matter. If they're going to force their way through, they're going to do it regardless of whether there's a tiny gap or not, I suppose. Yeah, there they are, doing their thing. You know what, actually, we can probably get away with charging out and giving them the business with our cav, to be honest. Angmarim archers, trash, really. Yeah, why not? Stops them from firing. Cavalry wouldn't have been much use elsewhere. Wow, they're getting absolutely butchered. Terrible performance from the Dale Cavalry there. Usually such a staple. Suppose they are wargs. Not even getting their spears down now. Okay, well that was foolish of them. They just went right into the infantry. They are going to be able to waste my dude's throwing axes though. Going to try and waste them as well.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Go through. What are they? Orc hunters? Yeah, but they died very quickly there, Hrothgar. I'm surprised that the wargs had that much of an opportunity to actually get that much damage off. I mean, the wargs are damaged to the point now where they won't be able to force their way through the line, which was the main thing I was concerned about. Right, Angmarim infantry. Right, well, again, they threw their general into the one part of my line that had heavy spears. Bizarre. Okay, they're leaving now. Just fire at them, you know. You know what, Gimli? Just do your thing. You'll be more useful as an infantry unit later. No, you know what? Never mind. Already routing. Be able to hit them kind of in the back. Okay. Hillmen. If they're going to attack us in waves like this. Very strange indeed. What have we got here? Rudour Savages. That's a juicy target to shoot. Actually, yeah, keep going after the Angmarim infantry. Orc hunters routing again, to the surprise of no one. Angmar have got some decent, like the Rudour units are pretty decent for Angmar to use. Like they're not amazing stats wise, but like they fill a nice nice niche. Feel like throwing your axes in there? There go the Orc hunters. Right, they're out of ammunition, so you can go back into the TC. They're routing. Right, what is your problem here? Fine, we'll get the King's axes to do your job, seeing as you seem to be incapable. Yeah, get a little bit closer. Clearly that's the issue. They've come back from routing as well. And they've routed again immediately. So all that really remains to be seen is whether or not the Angmar Doomstack has actually spawned. Because that does change matters somewhat. I mean, if we can get a full stack over here defending Mount Ground, we should be okay, because it's a very nice place to defend, but this would not be sufficient. Certainly not. Get back into shape. King's axes as well. Yeah, I guess really we just move forwards at this point. Gimli as well. Why not? Yeah, pikes and AP that Rudour provide with the Angmarim infantry are a decent little pairing. Which you do need as Angmar, because Angmar's early game is more difficult than most. Just having a look at their starting situation. Yes, there we go. Marvellous. Cavalry actually do need to be on station because we may need to start running them down. Right. Run you into place. Hillmen on the way. Angmarim archers, but not very many of them at all. Yes, all is well. All is well in the Dwarven world at this point. Of course, that could change very quickly when we see the Doomstack spawn, but positive vibes for the moment. Positive vibes. Can we hit anything like pikes? No, they are there, but Rudar savages. We've got axe throwers that can deal with the pikes, actually, now that I think of it, so we should just get these arrows down range. Even basic archers will be good against this kind of Angmarim unit. Yeah, the defensive setup is really good. I took this place by going in through this way because I attacked from the north, and if you attack from the north it's better for the attackers because you've got that nice hill, and if you've got some good range you can shoot into the town centre, but from this side it's pretty ideal. Throwing axes. Nasty stuff. Actually, we do want to keep the regular axe throwers back just in case we do need to use them against the pikemen. Another volley from Gimli, perhaps. Angmar does not really get expect to get attacked from the north. No, I suppose you're right there. Get those dwarven defenders in there. Now, you know what, Gimli, time to get into melee. I know you're damn lucky to be alive, but no matter about that. Are they trying to assassinate you with a unit of thralls? That's bold. Or are they just trying to push through to the TC? They're never going to make it though. They're going to rout long before they get to the town centre anyway. This unit, I want to be hitting the pikes really, but we'll shoot at whatever we can lay our hands on. You can go back to the TC as well. Your work for the day is done. And yeah, you guys we need ready to deal with the pikemen. Maybe I should have named this part Hunt for the One Ring instead of just the One Ring. But we know where it is, so it's fine. Be disappointing if we don't get it, because this is probably the best opportunity we've had thus far to actually enact the Ring script, but such is the way of things. Gimli throwing his axes in.
Only half the enemy force remains.
if they moved, maybe they could kill a few dwarves.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah, smashing the enemy indeed. Their morale is just not like they're feeding troops in one by one. My pet hate. Yeah, I mean, as soon as they're done here, as soon as we've used up all of our arrows, which is now actually, back to the TC with you. We shall get ready to just move on in. Get our axe throwers ready as well, so that we have something that can counteract the pikes. Hey there, Henk. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and my eggs are broken. Oh man. One of the worst feelings you can have. I always check eggs when I buy them from the supermarket to make sure they're not broken, because they never remove the broken ones. Yeah, there we go. Yes, victory should most certainly be ours on this occasion, which will set us up nicely for next time. There we go. Bit of a weird set of pathfinding intricacies going on in here. Right, here are the pikes, so yeah, this will be the last unit, I think, as they rout. Which does, of course, mean that we should get ready to chase them down with our cav. Fall upon them and try and break them so that we can actually get through with our cav without any issues. There they go. Oh, they did actually return from routing, which is interesting over there. These King's units are really, really good at this point as well. Surprised the entirety of the enemy army hasn't routed yet. Yeah, they are okay, yeah, we need to get our cavalry back because they're going to take unnecessary losses. Right, Gimli's leading the way again, so let's hope that he doesn't perish at the hands of hillmen. That would be even more embarrassing. Do need to kill off more of these units though, otherwise there will still be the remnant of an army. I'd like to go after those hillmen and thralls back down there, but I don't think we're going to catch them regardless of what we do. I'd love to give you a bit of support for this game. I don't want any credit card. Oh, you don't need to worry about that, Hank. Again, if people want to donate, that's fine, but it's definitely not something that I expect people to do. Just being here is fine by me. And we're going to be winding the stream down for today anyway. This is going to be the last battle that we fight, and it's not going to take too much longer. These hillmen are going to be put in their place by Gimli. These, there's two different models in there. I wonder if that's the upgraded model, the one with the sort of, hesitate to call it armour, but the very makeshift gambeson. Slightly better than the tunic, I suppose. But yeah, this is not going to be sufficient to defeat stuff like our King's units. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen any Iron Crown units yet. Closest we came to that was a unit of Rudau Huskars, I think. And slowly but surely, the hillmen will be ground down. Abandon their ladders. I do like the outside look of Mount Graham as well, like the towers. There's also, this side is the side with the little lake outside it. It looks pleasant but slightly menacing at the same time, certainly with the towers. Defeat is a distinct possibility. I would certainly hope so, given the fact that we've got Axguard of Erebor and Durin's Guard here on the front. Okay, let's see if we can push through with our cav now. See if that can be the final nail. And this should be, I mean, again, if we end this turn, see that the Doom Stack has spawned, it still means that we're in a little bit of trouble in this part of the map. But if it doesn't, it means that we have ample time to prepare for said Doom Stack. And seeing as I know exactly where it's going to be, yeah, there they go, they're starting to rout. Yeah, we must continue. We're not going to be able to catch any of the units in the far distance, I don't think. But that's fine. As long as we can run down the remnants of this force. I don't know, let's have a look. Oh yeah, there's no way. They will escape, but the units that stood and fought for a surprisingly long time, they will not. You know what, you can kill them. I think that's it. Is there any way to get over here? No, they're right on the red line. Indeed. Isn't this the place where the goblin who posthumously created golf came from? Wasn't that Goblin Town? I think. Only 128 losses though, so again, the unit's just not up to the task. It's really the higher tier units, they just don't have the ability. Like the Northman archers are very fragile, but if we put them behind a metal wall of dwarves, that ceases to be as much of an issue really. So let's just see where we are at the start of play as this turn cycles back to ours. Erkenbrand, the Red Shield. Right, we'll execute them. There's no Doomstack that I can see. So, at least, I mean, that does say that they have more than just the 3 territories, but we do need to be ready. A bride presented, Ulrun for Darim. Khan Doom lost, the glory of Glorfindel and Aernur has been repeated on the plains of Angmar once more, as Khan Doom has been captured by the enemies of Angmar. The orcs and evil servants who dared to fight off the attackers have been slain. They were shown the same mercy they gave to their captives, none. Black blood drips from the cold walls, and white snows are tainted with the horrors of battle. The bodies of the fallen are encased in the freezing earth and stand as a testament to the might of the attackers. Reaching from the ground like great flowers lie the arrow shafts and ballista bolts that drowned the defenders under a sea of fury. Light now shines into the shadow of the evil that once ruled this place. The remnants of Angmar have suffered a blow, one they may very well not recover from. Morvatarth. I'm not going to push any further into Angmar because that certainly will be enough to draw the ire of a Doomstack. Darim did well. War declared between Enidwaith and Breland. That's a bit of a shame. Rhubar Repair complete. Most advanced faction, I assume that's in... Yep, in production, because we are the best at such things. Please check Khandoum building so that we know special units. That's a good point. Army barracks. Do we have one? Yeah, it's Sons of the Fallen again. So it does have a special unit, so it was definitely worth taking. But it is Sons of the Fallen, so it's not anything specifically from the Blue Mountains that we would have gotten, which makes sense because